Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Mike here at Gamefromscratch, and earlier this week, Blender 5.1 beta dropped, and there's all kinds of new features in here, although to be honest, 5.0 was the new feature release. 5.1 has a lot of things that you're not going to see, but you're going to feel. Things like faster shader compilation, improvements to the animation speed, stuff like that. So a lot of system level speed ups, but there's a couple things in here that I really like. So we're going to jump in and take a look at some of my favorite features in Blender 5.1, and some of these are going to be very small, but things that I just really like. So we're going to start off with a very simple one. Go in here into preferences, twofold things. First off, in theory, Vulkan should now be the default renderer. At least they were targeting Blender 5.1 being the version where Vulkan was turned on by default. I don't know if that's going to be true. When I installed 5.1, it was actually still OpenGL, but in your case, it may not be. But while we were here in preferences, I want to actually show you my favorite new feature. And this is one of those things that you're like, why didn't we have this all along? And let's say, you know the space bar? You know how you want to change the space bar? I always forget where it is. Is it in input? Is it in navigation? Is it in general? Well, now what you can do is come in here and type the word space. And what you're going to see here is it searches through all of the options in preference, and it highlights the areas where it shows up. So for example, interface, we see tabs as spaces. Themes, it'll find some kind of a match in themes as well. Come on down here, key map, and then boom, there is space. So I will switch it over to search the way that it was always intended to be. I could do so right there, and done. So this new sorting here, it's the same thing here if I wanted to switch OpenGL, I can find all the instances. It automatically finds it and zooms in. Here you can see it's actually even an option down in a drop down, and it identified that. So it highlights where these things are found and makes it easy to navigate to them. This is one of those little chef's kiss kind of changes. It's a little thing, but it is huge. While we're talking about little things that are huge, and before we sacrifice this default cube here, I'm going to show you this cube many times over. Now, a very common thing to do is switch to quad view. So like top left, perspective, and so on. So I hit Control and Alt or Control Option, and then Q, we get quad views like this. Nothing new here. This has been in Blender since the very beginning of time. What's new is this. You can now go to the center point and resize them accordingly. I have wanted this since Blender itself was first invented. So this is a lovely little thing. So again, the ability to search through preferences for keywords and the ability to automatically like resize these quad views, they seem like little things, but again, they're the kind of things that will make a massive difference in your world. On that topic, and we'll keep this cube around for a little bit longer, but let's get out of quad view so you can see this a little bit better. I'm gonna go up here and add another mesh to the scene. Specifically, I'm going to add a isosphere, and let's go ahead and scale that up. The key thing I want you to notice is the variety of faces we've got going on here. Let's grab our sacrificial cube and move it over there. So what am I showcasing now? Well, there is a new snapping option. Go on up here, drop down snapping, and you will now notice you can snap to the center of a face. This has been a long requested feature. You do have options of how the snapping will work over here. Let's go ahead and turn the snapping on, and you will see what I mean. So let's move this guy around, and you're going to see snap, snap, snap. So what it does is it finds the center point of the face like so and snaps it accordingly. So again, move over here, center point, and center point, center point, center point. So the snapping should make certain moves a lot easier going forward. Nice new feature in general. Although I do find snapping should be like the center point of where I'm select. I find the selector a little bit odd with the way that it works, but again, that's just my personal opinion. Now, the last thing we've got here, this is probably the biggest one, but it's only applicable if you use grease pencil. So if you're not doing 2D animation, you're not going to appreciate this one, but if you are using grease pencil, you're going to very much appreciate this one, and this is laying the foundation for a future feature as well. So now, all right, it's time for a sacrifice. Goodbye. All right, what I'm going to do, switch over here to side mode here, and I'm going to add a grease pencil into the world. Completely empty one right now, and I'm going to go ahead and go into draw mode. Now, one thing you're going to immediately see is that fill and stroke have been broken out. They used to be done as attributes. They are now done in a completely different manner. So now you can pick if you want to draw a stroke, like so, or a filled shape, like so, or you can, of course, do both, like so. So now what I'm going to do is get rid of all of them, and I'm going to do just a fill, and let's do a fill like this. And now what I'm going to do is another one, like this. I'm going to switch over here to edit mode, like so. And this is a massive change to the way things are done. So select stroke mode over here, select this one, and then I'm going to select that one. I'm going to go to stroke menu, and we've got join fills. This is going to sound a little bit misleading in the name because what you're actually doing is cutting a hole. And that's how easy it is to cut a hole now. And that is very cool. So once again, I can switch back over here to draw mode, and I could create another one like so. And then go back to edit mode once again, click the one, click the other one, and once again, new hole. Now this is going to be the key in the future because they're going to make it so that if you're using like an eraser or something to that effect, so they're going to update it so that the erase tools like this are going to be able to cut holes in the meshes that are generated, which is a huge step forward. Right now, it only works this way. But going forward, that is going to change as well. Very nice there. One last thing to kind of show. I'm not going to show you here. I'm going to show you in another manner. But we have, as you probably come to expect, some new features in geometry nodes. We got a bunch of new ones. So we've got these new nodes. For example, we have these new, there's a new grid, a bunch of grids for dealing with volumes. So a whole bunch of changes for grids there. I'll get back to that in just a second. But I think the biggest new one is actually this new Raycast node. This was actually going to be in 5.2. It got bumped into 5.1. And I think the easiest way to showcase that one is to, like, I'll let you see it from someone that's competent instead of myself. So let's head on over here. So again, we do have updates here. We have the new geometry nodes. We got a bunch for volume grids for dealing with volumetrics. So a number of nodes were added there. We've also got string to curve. We also have a change in the way texts were rendered so that if you've got self-intersecting text, it will work better now. So a number of node changes. But again, the key one here is this one. And this is under the EV section as opposed to under the node section. But this is a node. This is the Raycast node I looked earlier on. And why would you want to use Raycast? Well, it's going to enable you to have your geometry node be able to cast out rays and see what they can see in the scene. And why would you use this? Well, here I will do a demonstration from Late as usual. Now, she is a technical artist over at Dylan Goose Studios, and she did this neat little tweet showcasing it in action. So what you see here, first off, this is the node tree that set it up. So here you can see she's using the Raycast node to do everything, and here is what you can use that Raycast node for. So yeah, super simple decals or decals, however you want to say that one, are now implemented. And you saw the node tree to actually implement this was really simple. Let's see if I can get back to it. But yeah, that node tree, it's just this. Now, I couldn't have written this one myself because I suck at nodes, but it gives you an idea of what the power of this new Raycast node is going to be. So those are like the highlight features, in my opinion, from Blender 5.1. There's a ton more. Again, a lot of this is behind the scenes things. So there's a lot of things like animation speed improvements, shader compilation, pre-compilations, and so on. So it should just run better than 5.0 did. But there's, again, a lot of little quality of life things that we highlighted today. If you want to go ahead and grab this, head on over to blender.org, head to the download section, and then what you want to do is switch to this Try Blender 5.1 beta section. There is also an alpha version out there if you want to go check that one out as well, but I'm not quite that on the bleeding edge. I grabbed this one right here. Obviously, pick it up for your platform of choice. If your platform isn't showing up, just pick it up there and download it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it. Blender 5.1. Again, there's a lot more to this release beyond what we showed. A lot of things around performance, things just running better, but those don't really show up on screen that well. So a number of little quality of life things, but a couple of them I just absolutely love. And again, my two favorites straight out. I do love this, the way that quad views work. The ability to just swap between, that is something I've wanted forever. And again, I lose where things in the preferences are all the time, especially, like I said, that spacebar feature earlier on. So the ability to come in here and find all of the references to something like that. Again, this is one of those little features I've always wanted. But the biggest new feature is probably the grease pencil changes, but that only really applies if you're doing 2D stuff. And that is, again, laying the foundation for future versions. So the 2D side of things in Blender are getting more and more impressive every day. But let me know what you think. Is there something else in Blender 5.1 that really stood out to you as a cool new feature? Again, it has just recently reached beta. It's going to be a couple more months before the full release, but let me know what you think. Comments down below. I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.